Hello and welcome. This video I believe I'm going to title Everything is About to Change. I mean this as in the external world, society, etc. But also I mean mainly the topic of this video is this channel, myself. I'm evolving super speedily. I know I've been saying this for a long time, but recently I've had a lot of awakenings. A lot of this like super optimistic expansiveness that I wish I could find a word for. That's all I've coined it really. It's just like Donny Arcade has a lyric. He's like, open my eyes now, I'm seeing all I wasn't seeing. It's like that. It's just like constantly learning, constantly growing, constantly expanding, constantly. It's just amazing, this life, and how deep everything goes, and how what you thought was the case turns out not to be the case. But this is a very fundamental video, so it might be a bit of a long one, so let's fucking get to it. I just finished doing the Wim Hof breathing, and some people come up to me. Grounding, obviously, this is a big part of healing. The ground is electric, the grass is electric. So I've been doing this a lot recently. So I was just saying, some group of teenagers come up to me who I vaguely know, and they were like, why aren't you wearing shoes? And eventually I kept going. I was telling them about psychedelics, I was doing the breath work. They actually joined me, a group of lads that I didn't even really know, to do just one of the Wim Hof rounds. But yeah, I'm trying to wake people up. There's more to life than it seems. So yeah, I was grounding. So I've been actually down here, which is right now. I'm not at the pond. You may have seen it in some other videos, but this is around the same-ish area. There's another group of lads who I know, group of mates, and that's another thing that's been healing for me, is moving to this area. So just quick time, what I've been doing recently, I've been doing a lot of breath work, a lot of grounding, a lot of being in the presence of the lake, a lot of eating a lot of organic fruit and veg, and fasting, doing the best I can. I'm not perfect by any means, but that's another thing. You can only do the best with what you've got in this moment. So Spectrum, an intro of his song, he goes, on my journey I've realized that as much as I want to be perfect and make everybody happy, the truth is that's not possible. But what is possible is that every moment I do my best to be the highest version of myself, and whatever that is at that moment is who I am. I think about this every single day of my life. If change was a goal, I had to make it my wife. I wasn't in abundance, now I'm breaking the ice. Was frozen for a moment, now I'm breaking the ice. See you in everything that I do. My higher self was waiting to have a conversation. I thank you for your patience. I'm finally awake, and I'm saying that I'ma do the best that I can. So yeah, a lot of healing, a lot of learning, moving to a new area. You may have noticed how much I've changed. So on a recent mushroom trip, which was 5 grams in this location, I was doing breath work on that as well. 5 grams of shrooms and good quality cannabis. And I was really, as soon as I took it, I was walking past trees, and I fucking knew it. Because when I looked at the tree, it wasn't in the 3rd dimension anymore. It was, but what I mean by that is I was in the astral realm, which is, when I looked at a tree, it was condensed energy vibrating with like a magnetic fucking field around it. You see it like you've never seen it. And I said I fucking knew it, because I hit the nail on the head again. I hit the fucking mainframe, and hitting the mainframe is doing what I've just done. Self-actualizing, personal developing, learning, growing, doing your health, listening to lectures, making your own channel, journaling, documenting, etc. I'm doing a lot of journaling recently, been getting a lot on the music. I've said that something I haven't really said too much is basically me. I've realised I and you, we're basically sat on top of a gold mine, and the word sat, I couldn't say stood, or running over a gold mine. I mean, we're literally sat, as in we're not doing fuck all, and the gold mine is waiting, and all you have to do is mine. Mine is, you can kind of swap that word for grind. You just need to grind and put in a lot of the work, and that's something that I've cultivated a lot recently as well, which I'm going to be talking about here. You're going to see a big shift in the direction of my channel. So I'm still, all you've seen up to now, quick origin of my channel, I won't bore you. I took psychedelics. They told me that I was not happy with my job and my circumstances of wage slavery, and I wasn't free, basically. And then I picked up my camera, I started ranting. Since then, I've been taking mushrooms at least once a month for about 2 years. It's been a long journey. I've been having constant awakenings, constant ups and downs. Thought I was crazy, then I realised actually I wasn't. Depression, and then opposite, like bipolar tendencies. But these are things that I've conquered a lot recently, and my growth has just been absolutely exponential. But what I was going to say, I need to try and stay on track here, and I will, is I've been super metaphysical, kind of the same nature as Ramana Maharshi. Not that I'm as divine, but I was kind of in the world but not of it, kind of was what they say. I believe I've realised recently. I'm a lot more of the world now. I've become a lot more integrated with society and health and just and my goals and my passions and my drives, and that's it. The reason you're depressed, I made a video called "The Reason You're Deeply Dissatisfied with Your Life," is because you're not pursuing anything. How can you be happy when you just take over? You need to literally, people tell you this time and time again, honestly, get clear on your fucking goals. What do you want? Listen to me, for fuck's sake. If you've done it, then great. Or if you don't want to do that, then fine. Like, I know Mr. Nature just thinks, like, he gets personal development to an extent, but he also, like, he's like more like Ramana Maharshi, where he's just super metaphysical. I was like Connor Murphy for a long time, who's also super metaphysical. But I become, like, now I'm a lot more of the world, in the sense that I want to pursue. I've been writing a lot more music. I've been doing a lot more videos like this. I've been getting a lot more clear on my vision. Been doing a lot more healing, getting on health, and looking at the future. I realized recently how life is such a long journey, and people take that for granted, or we don't realize it. Like, it takes a second for it to sink in. Like on that mushroom trip I just spoke about, I realized my mortality, kind of for the first time. Everyone knows conceptually that you're going to die, but have you really felt it like that? Have you gone into, like, have you basked in the fact that you will die? But it almost had a gravitational pull, like, oh my god, one day I'm going to eat my last meal. Not that, obviously death is an illusion, obviously, and you're an infinite shape-shifter. But also, this incarnation will crumble. Eventually. So of the same nature as that, I realised how life is such a long journey, and with that I've stopped stressing in such a stupid way. Like, I was listening to a lot of actualize.org, you don't need to know who that is, or Leo Gura, but in general, personal development channels, like, they'll tell you, like, you know, the quicker you act, the better, and that's true. But what happened to me for until this point, basically, all you've seen in the past, I was like just fearing it, like, oh, quick, I better take action, like, and then, like, when I wouldn't take action, I'd hate myself, and in a sense I was right to do so. And this is the thing, I'm like, I want to be very integrated, like Leo Gura or actualize.org, with, I want personal development mixed with metaphysics and spirituality. I don't want to just be a fucking Connor Murphy mode, even though he's better these days, somewhat. What was that bar I read? It's not really relevant. I'll wake and bake at 2:30. Early blaze away my pain because my tooth hurty. Feeling lazy, back to sleeping like I'm Connor Murphy. Sleeping, sheeping, really thinking, drinking, do not hurt me. Surely raising up to fame because I got the wisdom. And truth is pain, that's why I'm laying on this supporting system. Today you're feeling A-okay cause in your mouth there is none. So when I'm talking truth and facts, that's why you never listen. I never released that, but I wrote those lyrics a while ago. But yeah, back to sleeping like I'm Connor Murphy, because he was awake. If you don't know Connor Murphy, he took ayahuasca and then he woke up basically, but everyone else who wasn't awake thought he was crazy, which is what happened to me. And I was watching a lot of Connor Murphy while on psychedelics, and he inspired me in a lot of ways. And I went down that rabbit hole full blat, and then I ended up crashing, and I realized that I was like half crazy. And so was Connor Murphy. He wasn't just awake. Like, don't get me wrong, he was half crazy, but that's kind of like coincides with awakening. And then after that, I made the podcast with Adeptus Psychonautica about 4 months ago, of being grounded with psychedelics, where we did reflect on Connor Murphy and Leo Gura, etc. Where in that phase I was going through realizing that maybe I was like somewhat crazy, but really all that happened is I became more rational and grounded and direct and thoughtful of the things that I say, the way that I am and my vision, etc. And this is what you're seeing now is my self-actualization. But I'm not here to bore you with all of this. What can you expect from my channel? My YouTube channel will boom. I know I will be somebody, so I'm going to be making a lot more music. I've been pursuing a lot more. Check out on SoundCloud my latest album, but it's a demo version. It's called Detox. And the reason it's called Detox, my first album was called Toxic. That's because I used to be toxic. As I was telling those teenagers who met me and joined me with a Wim Hof, that when they were asking about like what all this shit is about, I said I used to be very insecure and I used to project my self-hate onto other people, except just like basically everybody in this Western culture, or in Oxfordshire in the United Kingdom as far as I'm aware. Is that everyone's incredibly neurotic because psychedelics are illegal. People think breath work is cringe. People think grounding is cringe. I've said a lot about the illusory nature of cringe in the past, so has Connor Murphy. So yeah, my album was called Toxic, and I made that when I was insecure, etc., as I just said. And then I found psychedelics and magic mushrooms especially, and they pulled out all my traumas. I got trapped in the spiral realms, etc. I purged all my demons, and now I'm here. I'm in this expansive, infinite intelligence. There's something that you can recognize about somebody when they are kind of awake, and I don't know. It's this, and again, it's this kind of expansive, positive wisdom, optimism, learning, growing, loving, pure, authentic living and growing. Like earlier someone started following me, or they liked my comment on Mr. Traumatic's post, and I looked at his profile, and in his caption he says like he calls himself an 8D star seed or some shit, like 8-dimensional, and it's all like way over the top. But you can kind of tell when, I mean, not that everyone, there's an important thing to note, like I've met a lot of spiritual people, or so they think or seem, but it doesn't mean they're grounded in everything else. Like what I was saying with my past is how, yes, I was very spiritual and I was bringing authentic insights and just talking and ranting and venting, but like someone can be spiritually awake, but they can still be a neurotic, dysfunctional human that is selfish and brings no value to the people around them. So that's why I want to integrate both worlds, or more worlds than that. There's many. But yeah, it's important to note that, like, don't think, and this is what I meant when I said I thought that I was crazy in the past, and then I realized I wasn't, but I kind of was, is just that. It's like, yes, I was awake, but it's not black and white. There's many different degrees and levels and facets to awakening, and you'll know when you've matured. That's what, on a different recent mushroom trip, I was like, yeah, I feel like right now, even though things could be better in a lot of ways, and I'm building a lot, and it's not easy times. I've been in deep poverty for about 2 years, and this is what I'm saying, and a lot of it was about my mental health, and my mental health was crumbling because I was in Connor Murphy mode, abusing psychedelics, listening to Leo all day in a flat by myself, and it was an airfield. It was an abandoned airfield with basically no trees. And when there was some trees, one of them fell down, and then the council basically cut down every fucking tree. So I was in a concrete abandoned airfield thing that they built a village on top. Really, it was a council estate, and the nature of the council estate that I was living in. So every second that you've known me until now, so when I said I've changed recently, a big facet of that is because of my environment. I am so grateful. Of course, gratitude is important. Practice that. If you can't find something to be grateful for now, you're deluded, because you don't know what you have until you lose it. Do not take your chance too many times. You will collapse, and now you're sad and looking back because you're losing shit you didn't even know you had. I hope you're glad and learn your lesson. Don't be sad and count your blessings. Everything you have can be gone in milliseconds. Listen to that tune by myself. It's called Hopeless. It's on my SoundCloud. Look. Yeah, so what I was saying is that place with no altering terrain, with no nature, and also, so the nature of this place that I was living at until this point, basically, and I actually lost that flat because of my awakenings, and my family didn't understand it, and I was losing the plot, and there was, and the reason I was losing the plot, I haven't said this much, but it basically is because our society has no structure to deal with it. Ram Dass speaks on how other cultures like India, and like when you go through these deep energetic shifts of identity and all sorts, which is spiritual awakening, which is a long deep, like, dark night of the soul process at times. It can be so deep, you question everything, and you can't stop, and you just lose the plot. But some cultures have structures to understand and help you, but I had no one around me. All I had was people on the if I didn't have the internet, I would have no idea what was happening. But it's because of people like Connor Murphy, Actualize.org, Aubrey Marcus, etc., that whole community, psychedelic actualization, etc., Mr. Nature, Miss Sunshine. It's because of those people that I was able to, I knew that I wasn't crazy, but everyone around me just didn't get it. Because everyone around me, like them teenagers that I was on about earlier, they were all sucking vapes, they're all eating Sour Patch Kids, I'm trying to tell them that it's poison and that there's rapeseed oil in the bread that they're eating, and they think I'm cringe for, and I say they could do what they want. Again, it's not that deep. You could eat what you want, and this is how I become less and black and white. Like, I understand that there's love and beauty in eating dessert. I understand. You haven't got to make life a drag like that, but that's not how I see it. I see like the personal development is not a drag, it's like the only option. What else is there to do but improve? Like, yeah, I can just like do what I want on a whim, but it's like there's no room for that. It doesn't work, it doesn't make me happy. I need to grind, hustle, build. And I know there's fear involved with attaching to reality, and that's essentially what we're doing in some senses. We're trying to control reality, which will entail suffering, but I need to control reality a bit because my consciousness is directly connected to everything in this external physical dimension. So if I can travel with money because I built a business and sorted my health out, then I can elevate my consciousness more. So personal development is very spiritual as well. And that we would call self-actualization. So yeah, I was saying anyway, I moved to this area and it upped my mental health so drastically. So everything that you've seen until this point, this is something I never knew. That simply just moving to a more communal area, there's actually some like real shops with more diverse food. There's a lot of bushes and trees around here locally. Right behind my house, I realised that there's a fucking huge like blackberry bush, and I'm like, oh, fucking brilliant, there's just like breakfast for free. And then again, and in this holistic picture, I'm like, why the fuck is everyone paying for some corporate entity that owns you basically work at your wage slave job and then pay. Because everything's like, yeah, you might work for this company and then buy from this company, but they're both owned by the same company, which is, let's say, just for, I'm not saying this is the case, but just for an example, they're all owned by BlackRock. So you go work at your wage slave job that's owned by BlackRock, and then you go buy your food that's owned by BlackRock, and BlackRock doesn't want you to realise, and this is why everyone thinks it's cringe or queasy, that there's actually food for free. I have a little book. I definitely want to read it because I've been getting very interested. I've noticed there's a lot of vibrant stuff around me that's edible. So yeah, why do we pay some big fuck off entity like BlackRock, after we've worked for them all day, for genetically modified food. So it's been grown like in some mad industrial shit, and they've actually like rewritten its fucking DNA so that it lasts forever, so that they can keep it on the shelf for longer and make more money, as this whole culture is built on greed. And then they put it in plastic, and then we go through this whole like system, and we walk into this big building full of EMF radiation and cameras, and then we go scan the QR code and shit with our name all over it, with our address all over it, just to get some fucking berries when they grow everywhere. Why does our culture not invest in fucking... How do I even need to say it? I don't know what it is. Some people are just not open-minded to it. Like, bro, trees grow food and you eat it. That's all you fucking need. You don't need rent and a fucking mortgage. This shit is fucking retarded. We need to combine the best of both cultures, best of both worlds, of medicine and ways of living, etc. The West with the Amazon. Combine. Anyway, fuck that tangent. That's just going off. But yeah, the album that's coming out is called Detox, because I'm detoxing from when it was toxic. I know this is just a super hodgepodge, but that is showing this interconnected fucking manicness that I embody half the time. A lot more often when I'm sober, in a way. But this expression that I'm giving you is this God realization, aka interconnected learning, full blast, where you can just, like, everything interconnects. The way that I'm talking is because it's all one thing that I'm telling you. It, like, every bit of information I've ever said is all part of one picture, which is why it doesn't matter what Leo Gura says when you watch him, in a sense, because it's all about the same thing, really. It's about his brand. Myself, OXSN. Whenever you watch a video of me, I don't even need to title the video, because you know who I am, you know what I'm talking about. For the most part. But look, anyway, people I've been getting into a lot recently is Alex Sedlak. He's really good. Check out Alex Sedlak. He's very spiritual, and I don't think he's super got it. I tried to reach out to him, though. I want to get him on a podcast. But yeah, he's spiritual. I like him super loads, and his whole community of young lads who are exposed in the Matrix and waking up and doing psychedelics and all that sort of stuff. And he's a lot more grounded, and that's what I'm getting on. I'm getting on hustling, working hard, building a physique, getting healthy. And you're going to see a lot more of that from me in the near future. Talking about finance, I'm gonna get my finances in order. Basically, I'm gonna self-actualize. Katie, a girl who I done if you search the Food Matrix podcast with OXSN, you'll find her. We done an Instagram live and about the Food Matrix, and she done a tarot card reading on me, which I'm optimistic to. I've always been like hesitant about crystals and chakras and tarot cards, but then I realized that I literally exist in the mind of God, so everything that I encounter is something that I'm dreaming, so it's all kind of like intentional. And when you awaken, you realize that everything that ever happened was to lead up to this moment, and in a twisted, strange loop way, everything I encounter plays a part in the story. But anyway, the tarot card says, now is not my time in the limelight. That was 4 months ago. And there's many different ways I can interpret that. A lot of it, I think, was because I wasn't ready. Now I'm healed in a lot of ways, and I'm continuing to heal. And this is what I was going to say also of the tarot card, is that basically I have to develop myself full blast in order to bring you anything of value. So the reason why it's not my time in the limelight is because I'm not really ready. I have to build a physique, sort my diet out, save money, clean my house, build with my family, grow, learn, purge, breathe, and basically now, and in my wallpaper is it's a video. It's an Instagram reel by Coding with Lou, Lou, I think, on Instagram, and it said, "Dear me, I promise you this: in 6 months, I will make you fucking proud." And that's my wallpaper, because I will. That's what I'm doing, and I am making myself proud. It's like all of a sudden I'm here, and now I'm seeing all that I wasn't seeing, and I'm ready to live this fucking beautiful dream of pure, infinite love and intelligence. If you don't see it, then I hope you heal your traumas so that you can. All right. So yeah, I'm going to make myself proud, and I'm going to be self-actualizing full blast. But yeah, I'm sick of this whole thing, everything that I've been on. In the past, basically, my predicament, if you remember, I was really depressed for a long time. And I was saying the same stuff, like, I promise, I know I'm going to do it, I'm definitely going to, it's faith. I've cultivated a lot of faith recently as well, or trust in the universe. I won't get into that super loads right now. In short, why would I incarnate as God just to have a depressing experience with no bigger picture and then just die on a whim and then it just stops? That's not going to happen. If I do die on a whim, it's going to... This is an intelligent movie that we're in, and it's unfolding with a plot and intelligence. And the universe is always conspiring for you, as Charles Einstein says, I think. He also says the more beautiful world that we know is possible, which is a term I love a lot. I've been listening to a lot of Aubrey Marcus. Check him out, he's super good, he's got a really good podcast, and the podcasts have been healing as well for me. So yeah, it's just I've moved out of that concrete grid. I'm here, I've been here for a while, I've made so many friends. When I walk around, I just constantly encounter so many people who love to talk, and I'm out here in the trees in the summer getting loads of vitamin D. I've tanned I'm super tan at the minute. Never burnt in my whole life, by the way. Not really relevant, but I've also never bruised in my whole life. I don't know why. Smoking a lot of weed, good quality weed, doing a lot of breathing, taking a lot of mushrooms, being in nature, doing a lot of exercise, a lot of journaling, a lot of mindfulness, just a lot of going with just letting the energy flow. Love is the remedy, bro. I got traumas and I got demons. I don't need therapy though. I'm not kidding. My name is slow. I don't know, or whatever. Sun gazing. So much stuff. It's just like when you're basically real, especially if you're young. This is one of the main things. I didn't realize how young I was. People always said, like, you know, you're only 18. Stop stressing. I'm about to be 20. I started this channel when I was 18, I think, or just at the end of age 17. I think I was 18. I was 18 when I started the channel, and I had my Wage Slave Awakening video, which you can still find, where the psychedelics just downloaded the fact, and made me realise that I wasn't happy, and it completely changed the direction of my life. And then ever since then, I've had about 110 super deep mushroom trips. And even before that, I was taking them loads. Before I had super awakenings, like I got trapped in the spiral realms, like I said. When I was 16, I knew about psychedelic mushrooms. As soon as I found somebody who had some, I brought an ounce immediately. And I took them as fast as I could because I knew that they were sacred. Even though they were fucking me up, and that's why I lost the plot, because I went off the deep end. But going off the deep end gave me this fuel that I'm expressing now to not give a fuck and to be super authentic and outgoing. Ooh, what's the time? No! Fuck! The shop's shut. Oh, I'm such a wanker. See me realise that. Oh, I could go Tesco, actually. Oh, fuck that. This place is a mess, bro. Need to stop shopping at Asda and Tesco. Need to go and forage just like all the rest do. Gotten all this knowledge, and I promise I'ma rescue them and you. Cause we in our own way, putting drugs in the food, and that's making you gay. And you're wondering why every day is mundane, cause there's fluoride inside your fucking brain, mate. Bro, you need a inner cleanse. Go buy some supplements. You're hanging by a thread like Connor in his bedroom. Wow, is that so rude? Well, it is fucking true. If you can't handle truth, then get out of the booth. Maybe that wouldn't have happened if all of our food wasn't full up with plastic. If we didn't feed him sugar for breakfast, maybe he could see some peace for a second. I don't mean to make assumptions, but all I've seen in this place is nonsense. Like, I've never seen another human in the flesh pursue anything other than pleasure. Yes, sir, I'm applying the pressure. Was born on a whim in a toxic culture. Now they're sending us in the indoctrinator like the food pyramid was made for paper. I'm so sick of it. They were teaching him. I was in the same class full of Satanists. Check out that. It's on my SoundCloud. It's called 4444. 4 number 4s in a row. It's a demo at the minute, kind of, but it's a new rap I writ. It's pinned on my Instagram as well. I writ that the other day. And that's evidence of us sitting on a gold mine. I said to myself, I'm literally sat on a gold mine. All I need to do is take action. And after I said that, that weekend, I writ one of the best raps I've ever writ, and I'm so proud of it. So yeah, I'm going to go now. I love you very much. I've actually got a lot to say that the world is not ready for. Truths that our culture is so ignorant about that I almost feel like I can't say because I'll just get ran out. But it's so funny. Even the people who think they're awake, they're deluded on some facets. That's what you can have authentic awakenings, but it doesn't mean every opinion that you have is correct. So yeah, anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you for watching. There's my meditation cushion. I love you very much. Yeah, I'm going to go home now, I guess. I was going to go to the shop to buy my mum some poison because she only wants to eat poison. Even though I tried to tell her that I wish she didn't eat poison because I love her and I don't want to see her get ill. But when I tell people that, they just say I'm being negative. And I get it. I say you can do what you want. But in the biggest picture, I don't believe that people want to be ill or poorly. Because if you watch Leo Gura's video about happiness, he will tell you all about how happiness will not happen. It can, but if you're ill, good luck with that. Yeah. I don't know. Just do the best in every moment. There's nothing you can do about the past. This is the present moment now. Be as positive with all of the resources you have. And that's all you can ever do. If you slip up, start again. Positivity is what I like to see. The best version of myself is what I try to be. So, keep your head up and message me. Hop on the podcast, have a conversation with me, a phone call. I love talking to the community. You guys keep me going. So that's all for now. I'd best get out of here. But yeah, I love you super much. And I got shit to do. So last thing, you might not understand it yet. I didn't understand it until recently. This is another thing. I didn't realise, if you watch my podcast with Psychedelic Actualization or Virgo, who I actually met in the flesh at this pond the other day, which is how I realise I'm manifesting my vision. He's been all over. He's from Germany. He's been all over to psychedelic retreats. He come down. We done a rapé ceremony. Check it out. He blew some like crazy tobacco shit up my nose. So go watch that video. It was quite cool. In that podcast, the first one I done with him, I said, how is reality love? He was wearing a jumper that said reality is love. And I didn't really get it, but now I get it. So, and that's only happened in the past 2-3 months. So that's what I mean by my evolution. One more thing, that trip that I told you about, the 5 grams that I done down here not long ago, the last one that I had, I went into a bit of a trance, and I said I imagined what it would be like while I was walking around in nature to confront my 16-year-old self. The one who made the album Toxic. The one who I said was neurotic and insecure and hated himself. And what it would be like to meet him in the flesh. And I was, and psychedelics or mushrooms have this like traction of thought. And I was, and like where the thoughts are so much more powerful. You can contemplate and introspect so much deeper. You just get sucked down rabbit holes of thoughts, and that's where you can get trapped in the spiral realms if you're not careful. But I was saying, like, the idea of, basically, if I stood in front of myself now, I'd probably sit him down and go, you have no idea. And I could probably say that to myself now. And I even said that to myself, so the version of me that made my channel originally, when I was living in my other place, if you remember my earlier content, of the spiritual stuff still, even him, I'm not him at all. So the funny thing is that I realised is that I'm trying to personal develop, and I was hating myself for not personal developing because I couldn't see any results. But the real results were happening inside. And I know that sounds like bollocks. Like, okay, they're not tangible results, but you don't get it. I've literally completely transformed. It's crazy. How did that happen? People know it as well. Like, it's weird. It's weird. Like, I said that to my mate before. Like, when I was in my manic days, kind of, before I got kicked out, when I was in Conor Murphy mode, my mate said to me, it's mad how much you've changed. I was like, no, I know, it's like you lost a friend. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, hey, that was Ollie. We done a podcast. We had a bad trip together. Check that out. We literally had a simultaneous bad trip together in the same house. Kind of. Like, I had a bad trip, and then as soon as I come down, he had one. But it was a mad. We reminisce about it on the phone. So go check that out. It's one of my earliest videos. It's at the very beginning of my Google podcast, the audio. So yeah, that's all I'm saying, is that I'm growing super rapidly, and I can feel it, like my whole perception on reality. And yeah, everyone sees it. I'm nowhere near who I used to be. You can see it as well. On my YouTube channel, I pray they don't take it down. I've been on there since I was like 13 years old, for fuck's sake. But they terminated my main one because I was like questioning things like the pandemic. I can't say because Babylon's just after everyone. But I was questioning things like that, and they took down my fucking like life's work. I literally lost hours and hours of video like this that I poured my fucking heart and soul into. Anyway, if you go back on my YouTube channel now, the YouTube channel it is up that I'm active on, that you're seeing this video on. If keep going, it goes for fucking years and years. You literally see my whole life. And when I clock onto what's happening is I'm literally documenting my whole evolution as a human. And this is a very crucial step and update in that process. Yes. So what I was going to say is about the infinite love is, that's what I was going to leave you with, is, basically reality is love. And I've only just realised that, kind of. And you'll realise that. And with this knowledge comes so much. With this wisdom, I should say, comes so much. And it's absolute truth. Reality is absolute infinite love, consciousness, God. Yeah, I don't know. That's it, I guess. I'm growing super speedily, so who I am now will not be who I am in 6 months at all, and that will continue because of psychedelics, because of my way, and because I'm God. Not exclusively, you're God as well. So is that border of the screen, and so is the reflection of my phone in my eyeball, and so is this particular tooth is God, and literally everything is God. So yeah, I love you. My name's OXSN. OXSN. Come hop on the podcast, message me, Instagram, TikTok, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Just search OXSN on Google. Look at the description. I've got fucking like 20 links. I'm on every social media, Twitter, Threads. Oh yeah, so I'm changing, and then also obviously the mass awakening is basically about to happen. The world is about to change. It's going to be unrecognizable. How do I know this? I just know it because I'm God and I planned everything. So watch what's about to happen. Society is going to transform because I want nothing more. And as God, why would I settle for anything less? Why would I construct it's like in Mario Maker, yeah, or like imagine you was designing a Mario level. Obviously you would design it the way you want it. You wouldn't design a Mario level. Imagine if you could design a Mario level and then forget that you designed it. And then you go play through the level and then realize that the designer that you're ignorant. Is there a designer? What even is this place? You know, imagine you just incarnate into a level that you made on Mario Maker, but you had no idea that you made the level on Mario Maker, and you were literally ignorant, just like born in a sense in this Mario Maker world, and you're going through the level, and then the level, the designer clearly made the level very shit, and just to fuck you off in a way, or you don't even know if there was a designer, and all these existential questions are open-ended and they're all loose ends, and you're going through it and you have fear, like, is this place really like all this is, in a sense? And what I'm saying is, you wouldn't fucking do that, would you? You would build a level that you want to play, and that's where we are. And it might not seem like that all the time, but it's so intelligent that you can't have assumptions. Like, one of the main things I've realised, and that I've said a lot, is that like my depression in the past was actually just contrast, and it was necessary for me to go through that so that I could have the contrast for my future, which is I came from depression, born on a whim in a council estate with neurotic parents. I love you parents, but I can't lie, everyone's traumatised, not just you, but this entire culture. Leo Gura says this whole culture is one big abusive family, which is true. Everyone's just so close-minded over here. But yeah, it's like the story of this incarnation. Anyway, yeah, it's just like oh no, like you need adversity. You need black might win. You need black and white, yin and yang, in order for there to be a story or a movie worth watching. And who would watch a movie if halfway through you just the main character just died on a whim and then it just turned off? Exactly. And I know it's true in my body, so I don't care what you say because I'm like directly conscious of the truth. So I'm sure there's facets and opinions about certain things that I'm not clear on, and I will evolve and I will mature, and I'll look at this video in the future and probably, like, when I look at the thumbnail of this video in the future, I will assume that I am not as integrated and mature as I could be, or as I am when I am reflecting on it. But yeah, enough of that. Time to get the fuck out of here. Alright, I love you. See you later.